You know. Okay, check it. There you go, a claw hammer. Alright guys, Papa Pepper here, once again at the Abundant Harvest Homestead. Today I'm going to talk about some really cool loads of free stuff that we were able to get and a couple of the ways we're putting them to use. I'm not going to cover every single thing because there's been so much stuff that we've gotten for free lately. But what I'm going to do is talk about a couple of them and hopefully do a quick project or two. But one of them is going to be what you see behind me. This is a load of hickory branches from a job that we recently did. I really should have taken the time when I was at work to video this tree coming down. It was a house that was built in a way in which it stuck out at multiple angles, and there was a tree growing up right in the middle of it. It was probably 50 feet tall or more, and it was a big hickory. It was leaning over the house too, so house is built like this, the tree's leaning over it, and we actually had to use a come along to pull some tension straight out, and then we had a rope that we pulled it down with. Everything went perfectly. The tree didn't land on anyone. The tree didn't land on the building. It was quite a sight though, and I wish I would have taken the time just to video it. Of course, at work, it's not always, you know, about making videos. It's just about getting the job done, doing what we can, and getting out of there. Now, people are going to be using the rest of the tree for firewood and some stuff like that. But all these branches, one of the guys I work with is just going to put on a pile and burn. Now, I'm going to burn them. I guarantee I'm going to burn them, but hickory is one of those good woods that can really impart some good flavor to meat. So what my plan is to take a couple pallets, chop all this up, put it on the pallets, tie it to the pallets. I can move those pallets with a skid steer or bobcat with some forklift attachments and be able to have it sitting there and drying, so that way when I get my smoker up and running, I'll have all this for free to use. Now, it's not that I don't have hickories on my property. This little tree here, this is a hickory. However, when I can get all this stuff over here for free, part of the effort's already done. It's already dead and it's already starting to dry now. You can also smoke stuff with green wood, but the amount of this, it's definitely going to have time to dry, and I'm going to have time to get my real smoker up and running like I want it to, which is very exciting. So that's going to be the basic idea. Take some of the bigger, heavier pieces, more dense stuff, put it over here, more of the branches over here. I'll try to heap them up pretty good. Maybe take some of this baling twine from some of the hay bales and alfalfa bales and straw bales we get. Use that to tie them to the pallet, and then I can move them where I need to, let them dry, have them available when it's time for smoking later on. So when you can get a pile of stones like that for free, of course it's beneficial if you're working on projects like this. These nice, wonderful raised beds outside of our poultry area. It's taken a lot of work, but as you can see, we've gone quite a ways. Then also, I've got some creek gravel, and then I've also got like the smaller stones. The smaller stones are going to be used out on our rock pillars because I've got a number of those to still do. And then this creek gravel stuff I'm actually going to use by the pond. And recently, for a job too, we had to take down a bunch of these old pickets if you remember from a while ago, out of just 7 of these old fence pickets, I can make 3 wonderful looking bookshelves.
Before, after.
So I have a couple different projects I have planned for those. And as some people noticed on my kind of dreams coming true pond build video, if you look, we've got almost probably 2 feet or something of material still left there. And here we're pretty much running out where it's at the top as far as the level. So I'm going to take that creek gravel stuff and build up around here. Also use some of that stuff over there. I just kind of build up around here so that this plastic comes more straight up and we can get more depth on that side. That's one of the projects I'm going to be working on, not in this video, but gathering some free resources while I'm at it for this. As you can see, we've got quite a ways here and it's already ready to run out over there. So we're going to build up, and actually I'm going to kind of berm around this whole thing so that we're not getting a huge influx of runoff from the garden coming into here. And then eventually I want to put either over on that side or over here an upper pond with a waterfall. That's part of the plan for that. So out here you can see where my rock pillar fence ends. The fence continues. I'm one away from the corner, but we've got to keep progressing with this project too. So when I'm able just to get handfuls of smaller rocks that are going to work great for this project, I like to take them and bring them up here and kind of stage myself for the next time I'm able to get to work on this project. As you can see, there's plenty of buckets around here already, but it can take like 12 or 14 5-gallon buckets of rocks just to fill one column. And on the corner, I actually go a little bit bigger too. So these ones here are going to come in handy. So one of the big ones that I wanted to show you guys this video is the stuff behind me. I actually found this stuff at a place where various construction workers and stuff just discard things they don't need anymore, they don't want anymore. So I scooped them up before they got taken in to be recycled or destroyed. And I saw them a little bit later at Menards, and it turns out these things are almost like 12 bucks a piece. So if you look at them, they're rather attractive little lattice. They must be about 8 feet long by about maybe 18 inches or maybe 2 feet. Now we're gonna go 18 inches. So this is the type of stuff, guys, that I would never personally buy, but when you're able to get it for free, when you're able to salvage it, when one man's trash is another man's treasure, it could make something look pretty cool around here. So I've got an idea right over here. And that was to use it up here as part of a border. Up here I wanted this to be open, but I also wanted it to be safe enough that children would not be falling off of here. So I was thinking, if I've got enough lumber still, I may be able to fashion this somehow so that it works out in a situation like this. I think it'll look rather attractive. I think it'll serve the purpose. My plan is to run something along the top and then make sure that it's fashioned securely enough that nothing can go through it, even if like I fell into it. So I don't know about you, but I do think that's going to be a rather attractive, cool way to use it. I've got 7 full 8-foot sheets of this. I'm only going to use 3 up here, and then I have a number of short sections as well. That it's going to be enough for some sort of other project. What do you guys think I should use stuff like that for? I could possibly use it for growing food, use it some sort of trellis like that, or maybe in a different build or project that we're working on. But feel free to offer up some suggestions of what you think. So the other idea that I had while I was out here is that some of these fence pickets would make a pretty good wall over here. This is the west side of this structure, so I wanted just something running across there. What I could do is take a number of these, cut them off at the appropriate height. There's already a board up here, add a board to the bottom, and just make a quick wall. It doesn't have to be completely windproof or rainproof. It'll block most of the wind. This is already going to take care of any of the rain that would get through there. So it'll just provide a little bit more structure to this building, make it a little bit warmer and a little bit better for the animals that are going to use this. And the cool thing too is while I got the truck and trailer over here, can pick up some more of these buckets of small rocks for the rock columns. So every time I kind of move around the property, I try to do things that make sense. Try not to take empty loads, and anything I can pick up and move somewhere else that it needs to be, I do. Some of the stuff, of course, we get from off the property, like a lot of things you're seeing in this video, but there's a lot of free sources, good free resources that are on my property that I just need to move to a different area of the property. So that's one thing we're doing too. We're going to be able to have a pile of these rock buckets picked up, and then I also have, hey little guys, you're okay, a lot of those baling twines that I could use for that hickory pallet project. If you notice too, look at these guys, they've pretty much defoliated all that cedar already too. So it's good for them. I like to be able to have them have access to that. And if I'm taking down some trees rather than doing something else with it, let them pick it clean first. And the children, here is the edge of this, okay? On top of this roof, that roof runs onto this roof falls over here. So what the children did is they put a bin here. They designed their own little water catchment. So falls off of there into there. The animals have water right by their feet and other stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. Oh look, another bucket of rocks. So with this one, rather than using screws too to put this wall in, there's actually little nails already in these boards, if you can see that. They're sticking out there. So I think I'm gonna have monster truck with a claw hammer, just get a bunch of those out. I'm gonna run the extension cord out here to get the worm drive saw going, and we will go from there. And I'm also, Mama Pepper has a couple things she wants some inside rustic decor to be put in the house. I don't need that many for this project, so hopefully I'm gonna have some good ones left over that I can create a little bit of extra stuff in the house, kind of like I do with those bookshelves. And I could build this wall out of this 1-inch oak too, but the 1-inch oak is a buck a board. Right now I've only got $1 invested in this wall. It's that board right there. I've got some 2x4s that came with this that were kind of older. They still got a lot of life in them. So I'm going to take those, knock one on the bottom, and then run these across, and I can pretty much have a $1 wall rather than like a $20 wall. 20 bucks ain't a lot. It'll last a lot longer, but this is free, so we're going to go with free. All right, guys, so here's my hard little helper worker today. Monster truck is out here, and he's just pulling those nails out. You know, the easiest way to do that, son, is just to keep choking up. Grab it, pull it up, grab it, pull it up. So if you got the head out, you grab it as far as you can, bend it up, then grab it again, bend it up, then grab it again, bend it out. They come up pretty straight, and you can get them all right away. Let me try that again. So just grab it, pull it up, grab it, pull it up, grab it, pull it up. And see this, guys? This is important. So you got a magnet there, and the reason I have a magnet is I could give this boy, you can keep working, a jar or a cup or whatever, but he could spill that. They could all get lost. So if you're having children help with things like this, pulling nails out of boards or something, you let them use a magnet, and that's a good way for that. No matter what, all their hard work is preserved. All right, son? So then lift up, and choke up again, lift up. And if you, the farther up you grab it, like towards the top, then bend it up, the easier it'll be if you can even get them out. I'll have to find that claw hammer too. Guys, we're talking about all the places the claw hammer could be. He opens the truck and he finds his own little claw hammer we had for him. So now your job should be a ton easier. And Sonny boy, here's the deal too. You got one like this that's flush that you can't get out. Go on this side, give it a smack. And you don't have the best, strongest work area, but I'll hold it still for you. Give it a little tap. Give it another one. Okay, check it. There you go, now claw hammer. Just push it all the way over. Almost got it. You know what happens though too? If you give yourself a little extra room on that. Try that. There you go. See that? So keep a small board around for that purpose. You got it? Your hat is silly. So at the moment, guys, I got him back there with a flat bar, And this is the reason why I often have a hard time buying child-sized tools for my children. This guy loves to be out working with me. You know, I got him a pickaxe for his last birthday. Size pickaxe, but it was kind of more of like a hand axe for an adult that a child could use with two hands. This is a child-sized hammer. You can see it did not hold up very well to really trying to even pull those nails out. The fault was this little thin pipe here. So if you guys know any good companies who actually make real tools for either like little people or children or whatever, something that kids can handle without having things go flying off the handle, let me know. We got to build up our resources as far as just equipment and tools and stuff like that, both for me and for the kids. But if I'm spending money on things like this and this is what's happening, it ain't gonna work. So here's that 2x4 anyway I was telling you about. I got 4 of these. They still got a lot of life in them, but they just had to be replaced for the job we were working on. So more than a good enough resource to use here on the homestead, and of course the price is right. And it's long enough too. Just to preserve those old boards as much as I can too. I don't think I'll be running them down to ground contact, even though that should stay relatively dry. I'll have them run down part way and then just take a strip of oak and run it over the edge as just something to cover it. So I chose to use that second 2x4 for support just because these things are so thin, these fence pickets, and I also put it a little lower down because that's where animals run the risk of putting the most pressure on a wall like that. Oops. I wasn't trying to record that. Getting some of that hickory to use though. Decided to use some of that hickory to smoke up some venison backstrap. So I rigged it up like this now, and I think it'll work just fine.